My friends, let your minds go back 2018 years ago to that day when astrologers came from the east in search of the newborn king of the Jews. At that time, Jesus was only a little boy, and we can assume from Herod's slaughter of the innocents that he would have been less than 2 years of age. And who would have believed back then that the Messiah was born? Now, during his lifetime, he remained, for the most part, a local issue. Outside of his own small country, he was virtually unknown. A few loved him and forsook everything to follow him. A few others hated him and made up their minds to get rid of him. But the vast majority of people never knew him. They listened to his teachings, they marveled at his wisdom, they speculated at his identity. At the approximate age of 33, he was crucified. So he lived his entire life within the confines of a short span of time and a limited scope of influence. But today, his shrines encircle the globe, and his disciples number into the billions. How does one explain this incredible fact of history? That something that started so small and seemingly insignificant could last so long and reach so far. I think our gospel reading does not address that particular question, but it does give us some insights into a possible answer. Now, the story of the Magi is really a subtle way of saying that the life and ministry of Jesus will not be confirmed and conformed to a limited geographical boundary or a theological tradition. The Magi appeared in the gospel story for one reason and one reason only, and that is to dramatize the universal dimension of the Christ. They proclaimed by their submission and their presence that Jesus would not be limited by natural, cultural, racial, or even religious boundaries. You see, Jesus belongs to us, and we belong to him. But we can never keep him for ourselves because he belongs to the world. Now, how do you explain that universal appeal? Well, our reading gives us two explanations. One is his ability to disturb us. Now, when wicked King Herod heard of his birth, he was greatly disturbed, the gospel said, and so were many others. And so it has been ever since. Look at our own lives. In moments of greed or selfishness or jealousy, there comes an uneasy feeling that we are not alone, that something isn't right. In such moments, we really aren't proud of ourselves. You see, the Christ of Bethlehem has a strange capacity to disturb us. I think the second is his capacity to change us. It is said in the reading that the astrologers went back to their own country by another route. That historic statement has proved to be prophetic because Jesus has been rerouting people's lives ever since. Across the centuries, north, south, east and west, and all points in between, Christ has quietly changed human lives. What seemed so incredible at the beginning of his life has become more and more a credible fact of history.